Okay. One of the major types of private debt exhibits greater price sensitivity to interest rate changes compared to the straight debt instrument. Now, if you believe this is right, I'm sorry, if you believe that this is wrong, तो please उसका expression ऐसे मत देखना कि it shows it exhibits low price sensitivity. Okay, obviously greater का उल्टा होता है lesser. This is not school to write इसका अगर तुम्हें लग रहा है कि statement one is wrong, तो मैं स्कूल में ऐसा करता था कि नहीं नहीं सर it's lesser price sensitivity. But तुम्हें explain करना है कि why private debt exhibits a lesser price sensitivity. So statement one was incorrect. It shows the private debt shows lesser price sensitivity to the interest rate changes. Why you will let me see if you like given the right answer. And higher interest rate scenarios may be associated with increased bankruptcy rate, risk. Correct statement, because if the interest rates are higher, interest cost would be higher. Business ka profits would go down, and hence there could be possibility that the business profit may not be sufficient enough to pay that interest, and it could lead to bankruptcy. One possible answer. Second possible answer is नहीं ठीक है इतना ही मैं सोच रहा था कि the companies won't be able to borrow. So नहीं ठीक है यही था. So I think answer was statement one is false. Which response is correct about statement one and two? Statement one is false. Statement two is true. I think answer should be C. Yeah. And अच्छा उन्होंने ऐसे लिखा है स्कूल वाला आंसर लेस प्राइस सेंसिटिव. बट लॉजिक क्या है? लेट मी सी इफ यू गाइस हैव गिवन मी द लॉजिक फॉर इट. तो ऋषिकेश का आंसर आ गया. So I'm copying. If anyone has given the answer, please एक बार वापस raise hand करना. But as of now, I'm copying Rishikesh answer. Okay, let me first read the statement one. Okay, so he has given the logic that generally the private debt is senior secured. Okay, but more importantly, what he's trying to say is floating interest rate. So what happens? I mean, ये चीज wrong लिखा उसने. Do not face price sensitivity at all. Lesser price sensitivity would be better. Okay, but I'll give him full marks. He has mentioned a proper logic that generally the private debt is floating interest rate, and hence as the interest rate changes, the coupon payments will automatically be changing, and its price more or less remains stable. So don't say price no price sensitivity at all. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so do not say no price sensitivity at all. Say lower price sensitivity, because as the interest rate will change, along with that coupon amount would be changing. So the price will remain more or less stable. But I will not deduct your mark because you've given this logic. Senior, ये सब का मतलब नहीं था frankly. Uh, so floating rate, floating coupon. So as the interest rate changes, the coupon amount would be changing in direction of the interest rate changes, which keeps the price stable. ये मिला तुम लोग को कहाँ पे था? मतलब ये मेरा और एक लॉजिक था इसमें एक्चुअली that the private debt is unlisted. So from that perspective, its price won't change much because it's unlisted. So ये वाला logic था, but obviously, but then that becomes infrequent valuation वाला logic. So I don't think so that we can put it. कि it's illiquid, so its price won't change that much. When the interest rate changes, its price won't change that much because it's illiquid. But वो अलग चीज हुआ. I don't think so I can write that. हाँ और एक मैंने सोचा था इसके ऊपर कि generally the private debt has embedded call options or embedded put options. So it's not a straight kind of instrument. It is embedded instrument. So because of those embedded call and embedded puts, its finally effective duration becomes lesser, and that's the reason its price sensitivity is lesser. तो ये लॉजिक था कि बिकॉज ऑफ कॉलेबल एंड जनरली द प्राइवेट डेट इज इधर कॉलेबल एंड पुटेबल. तो कॉलेबल पुटेबल और लॉजिक, या फिर जो ऋषिकेश ने बोला लॉजिक कि दे आर फ्लोटिंग कूपन बॉन्ड, ये कहीं पे मेंशन है क्या? मतलब ये जो हम दिमाग लगा रहे हैं, लेट मी चेक. इफ यू गाइस हैव फाउंड दैट आउट, टेल मी वेयर इट.
Regarding illiquidity of private debt,
इलिक्विडिटी तो क्लियर है, बट इलिक्विडिटी वाला जो लॉजिक है, ये वाला क्वेश्चन कौन सा है? एलएमएस LM3. ये तो ये वाला है, सॉरी। लेस सेंसिटिविटी चेक कर दे तुम लोग, स्वेजेस में चेक करो, आई चेक इट इन दिस। Have they given any logic that private debt is less sensitive? That ये जो हमने बोला floating rate possibility और callable puttable वाला केस। Okay, non-callable, that's okay. No, so there's no logic mention over here कि why the private debts are like less sensitive. नहीं। Okay, but the correct answers were either they are the answer what I gave, either they could be callable or puttable, and because of that, the duration becomes lesser and hence the price sensitivity become lesser, or they could be floating coupon rate bonds, and because of that, as the interest rate changes, along with that coupon amount will change, and hence the price will be more or less stable. Don't say the price would be not changing at all. Say price will be changing lesser, but I'll give full marks for this. Okay, and statement one, we discussed statement two, high rate scenario, maybe as well. Let's see what he has written for that. Okay, what he's trying to say is that higher interest rate happens later expansion because there is an inflation during this. So to control the inflation, RBI would be increasing the interest rates, and that it will increase the credit spread. But क्यों credit spread increase होगा? Because एक you can say that because in the later expansion phase or in the case of slowdown phase, A, the sales are coming down, and B, as the interest rates are increasing, interest costs are increasing. So sales are coming down and interest costs are increasing, so profits are becoming lesser, and that will increase the chance of bankruptcy. समझा ऋषिकेश? So here I'll cut
Yes,
you
sir.
one mark because आपने
Yes.
mention नहीं किया कि credit spread क्यों increase होगा. Because of slowdown, sales are going to come down. ये वाला point. Or secondly, as the interest rates will increase, interest cost will increase, and hence the profits will come down, and hence credit spread will increase. So that is the logic that you are not given, but you are mentioned कि credit spreads will increase. So from that, I'm going to give you 1 out of 2. So the total marks, let's say, are 5 or 6. So you get it. I mean, answer C के लिए, whether answer C, yeah, C. So you get 2 on 2, then 1 on 2 and 2 on 2. So total you get 5 out of 6. Darshan, do you want your answer to be evaluated, or is it clear?
No, sir, it's clear.
Clear, right? Okay. What they have mentioned for statement 2. Yeah, additional interest cash burden, and that will reduce their profits, and hence the chances of bankruptcy will increase because the profits will go down. Okay, so second statement मेरे ख्याल से was easy, although ऋषिकेश ने थोड़ा सा उसमें mistake किया. First statement was actually थोड़ा सा thought provoking था कि कैसे करना है, which he gave it properly. He came out with a good logic. It was not easy to come out with this logic or logic which I gave कि they could be callable or puttable. मेरा वो लगता है वो illiquid वाला लॉजिक नहीं वर्क करेगा कि अगर प्राइवेट डेट इज illiquid and hence its price won't change much. That is more of illiquidity rather than price being actually
Yes.
not changing. Yeah.
So that is because private is mostly not illiquid because leverage loan is senior secured. So leverage loan in that case is the most safest of them all. Mezzanine loan is the most illiquid because there is no secondary market of mezzanine loan. And if we compare the high yield bond, it is mentioned that high yield bond is standardized. That's why it's less risky.
Correct. No, but price sensitivity का क्या कनेक्शन है फिर यहाँ से? प्राइस
They think they
sensitivity
have assumed that the majority of the components like venture debt, mezzanine debt, they have said they are either fixed or floating, assuming they are floating and leverage, and
वही
majority
वही
of them
वही ये वाला पॉइंट
floating.
इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये वाला पार्ट मिला क्या कहीं पे? Did you find this in Shweta somewhere? I'm not getting that.
Sir, I did not get finding this Schweizer, but there is a table in curriculum, sir, regarding they're showing everything. Just let me.
कहाँ पर है? ये फिक्स्ड डेट तुम बोल रहे हो ना कि ये कहाँ पर है, एक बार चेक करता हूँ, फ्लोट करके चेक करता हूँ। Okay, the leverage loans are 4 to 7 years and floating rate loans are typically used. Okay, तो ये leverage loan में लिखा है floating rate। ये वाला, हाँ, I think you're talking about this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So leverage loans are variable floating, high yield bonds fixed, convertible bond low fix. तो but यहाँ पे again private debt के mix लिखा है, like sometimes floating, sometimes fixed. So we can't generally do anything with this because यहाँ पे generally mention किया था private debt. So we can write what you mentioned because some of them are floating rate, like this is floating rate, venture rate, vessel and debt are floating rate. That's the reason as the interest rate will change, their coupons will change, and hence the price will more or less remain unchanged. With that logic, it will work. But senior secured का तुम क्या logic बोल रहे थे?
It is the safest in case of bankruptcy. The leverage loan payers get
नहीं
paid
वो
first
समझा
because
मुझे,
it is generally for short term, sir.
नहीं बट उसका इंटरेस्ट रेट से क्या क्या कनेक्शन है? वो तो
It is floating rate,
डिफॉल्ट
no,
के साथ
so it
कनेक्शन है।
provides inflation hedge. In
क्या डिफॉल्ट के साथ कनेक्शन है? वो सब इन्फ्लेशन का?
no, no, sir. I mean, it's a floating. It keeps on increasing when interest rate increases.
ये मुझे
That's
थोड़ी,
why.
मैं बोला सीनियर का क्या कनेक्शन था ये आई वाज ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड वेदर यू आर कमिंग टू सम पॉइंट विद दिस। नहीं, इसका कुछ कनेक्शन नहीं था। तो इधर फ्लोटिंग रेट और यू कैन से दे आर कन्वर्टेबल, आई मीन दे आर हैविंग अ कॉलेबल और पुटेबल, कुछ मेंशन है कि नहीं आई डोंट नो, बट दे कुड बी कॉलेबल और पुटेबल and yeah, callable at issue. So that's the reason their effective duration will become lesser and hence the price sensitivity becomes lesser. Okay, so this is like what the logic you can come out with.
And one thing,
They
sir,
have not given
leverage.
logic, हाँ, मतलब है हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, उन्होंने तो बोला उल्टा स्कूल डेज वाला, ग्रेटर का उल्टा
Uh,
लेस। हाँ,
Sir, and one thing, the leverage loans have lower effective duration and higher effective spread duration. So that's why they are more prone to effective spread and not just effective
कौन
duration,
सा
sir.
बोलो?
So it's
कौन
in
सा?
the leverage loan itself. I think it's in Sweden also.
कौन सा क्या क्या बोल रहे हो? में क्या बोल रहे हो?
So leverage loan is has lower effective duration and higher effective spread duration. Sir, it
करेक्ट
is more like QM and TM, sir. So
करेक्ट करेक्ट,
quoted
बट
margin, discount margin.
समझा समझा मुझे, बट यहाँ पे स्पेसिफिकली ऐसा मेंशन नहीं था ना।
So there's interest rate changes. That means it's normally effective rate duration. No, there is no.
करेक्ट
It
करेक्ट,
related on the
let's
spread.
say आई मीन अज्यूमिंग लेवरेज लोन्स है, बट आई मीन यहाँ पे वो नहीं था, वी आर नॉट कंपेयरिंग वन विद अदर, वी आर कंपेयरिंग प्राइवेट डेट विद पब्लिक डेट।
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Understood.
We're not comparing like various types of private debt.
Okay, sir.
Answer
Understood.
was C.